You expect a working woman to come home and still cook or bring food to a lazy man sitting at home? Sika said with a loud laugh. This is modern life, Ajuman. Wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee. Women don't suffer all day just to feed a full-grown ass man who is crying over lost money. Her words cut through the silence like a knife. But that wasn't even the worst part of the night. And just like that, his world shattered. The woman he loved, the child he raised, the life he built, everything began to fall apart in one night he would never forget. Let's take a step back to where everything started, before the pain, before the betrayal, to the sweet beginning, when love felt real and Ajuman thought he had found the one. Once upon a time, before the harsh words and the broken hearts, before the lies and tears, there was a man named Ajuman. He was full of hope, worked hard, and had big dreams. He believed he had found true love in a simple and surprising place. But life had a different plan, one that would later make him question everything he believed. Ajuman wasn't just any young man. After completing his national service, he got a high-earning job with the government. It was rare and lucky. People admired him. Even older men respected him. In just 3 years, he built a beautiful 4-bedroom house at Ahafumim, drove a nice Toyota Highlander, and had a bank account that looked like a rich politician's. But Ajuman was different. Even with all his money, he didn't want to marry a woman from his level. He didn't trust those flashy and proud ladies. He felt they were too fake. He wanted someone simple, someone real, and someone very humble. Then he met Sika, a simple, calm, and different from anyone he had ever known and met. Just one meeting, and something in his heart shifted. It was a regular Tuesday. Ajuman had stepped into a boutique in Goso just to buy a new shirt. "Good afternoon, boss. You're welcome," Sika said gently as he entered. He looked up. There she was, a simple Ghanaian lady with her natural hair. Her voice was soft, like someone who had been trained not to shout, even when angry. "Good afternoon. I'm just looking around," Ajuman responded casually. "No problem. If you need help, just call me. My name is Sika." He smiled and nodded. He walked around the shop, but honestly, he wasn't looking at the shirts anymore. He was observing her, how she folded clothes neatly, how she gently corrected a younger staff who had misplaced an item. Eventually, he picked a blue shirt. As she packed it, she asked, "You work around Goso?" "Sometimes I move around. I do some government work," he replied vaguely. Okay. You look like someone who sits in a big office," she giggled. He chuckled. "Why? Is it my face or my stomach?" She laughed again. "Boss, that was the beginning." Ajuman started visiting the boutique more often. sometimes to buy, sometimes just to talk. Sika never acted too excited or too interested. She remained calm, soft-spoken, and respectful. One day, he decided to test her. He came in wearing a simple t-shirt, worn-out jeans, and old sandals. He looked nothing like the government man she had assumed. She still greeted him with the same sweet voice, still offered him a seat, and still gave him cold water. That evening, he finally asked, "Sika, can we talk outside work?" She blinked. "Talk? What about? I like you and I want to know you more. Not as a customer, but as a man." She gave a shy smile. "Yeah, okay. But I'm a very simple girl." Ajuman smiled. "Good. That's my kind of lady." Their friendship grew, and within 8 months, they got married. Many people said he was moving too fast, but he believed true love didn't need more years to be sure. After marriage, Ajuman established a big boutique for Sika at Goso. He gave her money to stock up the shop, got her a car, and even had 2 assistants to support her. Within a year, Sika was becoming one of the most respected women in her area. Humble, soft-spoken, and wealthy. Everyone praised her, but one person wasn't happy. Ajuman's mother, Mameya. "She's too perfect," the old woman often said. "Too calm, too careful. My son, test her before it's too late." Ajuman would laugh. "Mama, you watched too many movies." But Mameya didn't stop. She observed quietly, said little in public, but her eyes never stopped watching. Then one Friday evening, she came to visit her son in Goso. She brought him food. As always, light soup with goat meat. But this time, she didn't eat. She sat on the sofa, folded her arms, and waited for Ajuman to finish bathing. When he came out in his shorts, drying his beard with his towel, she pointed to the chair across her. "Sit down, Ajuman, my son. I need to talk to you." "Hey, Mama, what is it again?" He smiled, sitting. "I'm not here to fight you. You know I love you." "I know, Ma. I carried you in my womb for 9 months. Breastfed you for 2 years. I watched you talk, walk, and grow. So when I say I feel something, please don't take it lightly." Ajuman's smile faded. He leaned in. Mameya continued, "This generation, this Gen Z group here, they are unpredictable. They can be smiling with you while someone is holding their heart somewhere else." "I'm serious," she snapped. Ajuman nodded. "Okay, Mama, I'm listening. I want you to do something for me. Just one thing. If you do it, and you are right about your wife, I will never disturb your marriage again." "What the thing, Ma?" "I want us to test her. I want to see if she truly loves you, or she's just enjoying the comfort you gave her. The boutique, the car, the house, and all you gave her." Ajuman sighed. "Mama, this woman is different. That's what every man says before his heart is broken. You don't know a woman until money disappears." Ajuman looked away. Mameya's voice softened. "I'm not saying she's a bad woman. I'm saying let her prove herself. Pick your downfall. See what she does when she thinks you have nothing." Ajuman was silent. I know you love her, but love must be tested in fire. And if she passes, I will kneel down and bless her myself. He looked into his mother's eyes and saw something he hadn't seen before. I'll think about it, he said. No, don't think. Do it for your own peace of mind. That night, Ajuman didn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling. His wife curled beside him. Her breathing was soft. Her arms wrapped around him, but in the back of his mind, his mother's voice echoed like a warning bell. Fix your downfall. See what she does when she thinks you have nothing. The next morning, Ajuman sat in his car with his best friend, a quiet but calculating man known as Berima. Most people just called him Anane, but only those close to him. He was a legal brain, sharp with details, and good at reading people. Anane and Ajuman had been boys since Legon days, but even he had doubts about Sika. I'm telling you, Ajuman, Anane said, sipping coconut juice. This test your mother suggested, eh? It's smart. I've seen women flip like switches, not who you are. They love what you give and not who you are. Ajuman looked unsure. But Sika has been solid since day one. I hope she still is when she hears the government is coming for you. Anane smirked. Leave the story for me. Just act broke. Ajuman nodded slowly. That Saturday afternoon, Ajuman drove his black SUV into their compound. He wore a black shirt and brown trousers. From the gate, he didn't smile. He moved quickly like someone on an emergency. Sika saw him from the hall window and rushed to open the door. Anane, oh, you didn't even call us first. Sika just said. Where is he? Anane asked sharply, refusing to step in. Sika blinked. He just went out to buy. Wait, what's wrong? Come inside first. No, I can't sit down. This is serious. Anane, you are scaring me. He removed his glasses slowly. Sika, listen carefully. The government has launched an emergency investigation into a contract Ajuman signed a few months ago. Her mouth opened slightly. They said there was an internal leak. Some top people in his department have already been picked up. Picked up? She repeated in a shaky voice. Yes, by the BNI. Sika held the door frame tightly. Anane continued faking emotion. They said Ajuman's account will be frozen by Monday. His properties will be seized. Anyone connected to him might even be questioned. Sika's voice cracked. Wait. Seized? What Ajuman? He's not a thief. I know, Anane said firmly, but he's a big name now. And when things go wrong at the top, everyone is dragged down, especially the innocent ones. She blinked fast, trying to process. You mean the house? The boutique? Anane nodded slowly. All under his name. Everything might go. That's why I'm here first, to warn you. Sika didn't know what to say. She took a few steps back, slowly sat on the edge of the couch with her hands shaking. Anane studied her reaction like a hawk. No tears, no prayers, no collapse, just silence. Then she asked softly, so where is he now, Ajuman? Anane's face twisted in frustration. You are his wife. You should be the one telling me that. Sika's heart kept a beat. I've been calling him since morning, she said with a shaky voice. Anane didn't respond. He stepped back from the door and drove off without another word. The gate closed. Sika stood there in her slippers. The breeze passed through her scarf, but her body was stiff. Then her legs gave away. She sat on the floor with her hands over her head and wept bitterly. Tears rolled down her face like rain. Her perfect world was collapsing, and all she could do was wait. Hours later, at exactly 8:45 p.m., Ajiman returned home. He walked through the gate slowly, with his shoulders dropped, head low, looking like a man who had lost everything. Sika rushed to him. Ajiman! He didn't speak. He just stood there, staring into space, like a defeated soldier. Talk to me, please, she cried. Tell me it's not true. He finally whispered. It's true, Sika. It's all true. She stumbled back, her chest tightening. What are we going to do? He entered the house and dropped his keys on the table. They've frozen my account already. I couldn't even buy fuel today. What about the house? I don't know. Maybe that's what's next. I'm just tired. Sika sat beside him, holding her head. But what happened? Who did this to you? Jiman looked away. It doesn't matter anymore. Everything I worked for is gone. My life is finished. That night, he slept on the couch. Sika didn't come to check on him. The next morning, the tension in the house was louder than words. Ajiman sat on the porch, sipping water. Sika walked past him, wearing her tight jeans and makeup done. Where are you going? He asked quietly. To the boutique, she said without looking at him. He blinked. At this hour? Yes. But Sika, things have changed. Can't we talk about what to do next? I am not the one who brought problems into this marriage, Ajiman. Don't end up. Let me work, so I don't also end up like you. That line stabbed him like a knife. She slammed the gate behind her and drove off in the same Benz he bought her a year ago. Ajiman sat back with a heavy chest. His mother's voice returned to him again. Take your downfall. See what she does when she thinks you have nothing. Sika no longer cooked. Sometimes, she came home late from the boutique with new perfumes and fresh wigs. She didn't even ask Ajiman how he was coping. He noticed her phone never left her hand anymore, and her smile, the one that once warmed his heart, had disappeared. She no longer laughed at his jokes. She no longer asked if he had eaten. She no longer touched him at night. One evening, he asked softly, Sika, are you okay with me sleeping on the couch every day now? She didn't even look up from her phone. If you want to sleep in the room, sleep. It's not my business. He turned his head slowly, feeling the burn behind his eyes. She had changed so quickly, so coldly. But what hurt the most? She still had access to her business. She had registered it in her name, her gift of love. So while his accounts were frozen, hers was booming. She wore new clothes, posted smiley selfies at the boutique, laughed with her workers, and at night, she turned home to silence into her husband pretending to be poor. She dropped her bag on the sofa, kicked off her heels, and walked past him without a word. Ajiman sat slowly from the couch and asked in a soft voice, "Did you bring any food home?" She paused at the hallway and turned and gave him a long, cold stare. You expect a working woman to come home and still cook or bring food to a lazy man sitting at home? She said with a sharp laugh. This is the modern generation. Ajiman, wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee. Women don't hustle all day just to come and feed a grown-ass man who is busy crying over lost money. Ajiman looked down. Her words pierced through his ribs like spears. She wasn't done. You are even lucky the government didn't arrest you. You should be on the streets begging. And if not for this house still standing, I would have left long ago. Tika, he said, with a cracking voice. You used to, she said, pointing at him. Exactly, that's the word. That is the key word, my dear. You used to be someone. Now you are just... I don't even know what you are anymore. His throat tightened. But I'm still your husband. She laughed. No, you are a lesson. A lesson to women who put all their hopes in men. If I had followed you blindly, my life would be in ashes by now. He stood slowly. I gave you everything, Sika. My love, my trust, that boutique in your car. And I earned it, she fired. Don't act like you carried me on your back to success. I worked in that shop every day. I built that place. You gave me the first push, yes, I agree, but I did the climbing. Sika, he said, do you even love me anymore? She laughed again, bitter and loud. Love? In this economy? With your accounts frozen, with reporters saying you might be involved in fraud? I can't love a liability, Ajiman. I can't love a man who sits at home waiting for miracles. You better start acting like a man and find your way out of this mess. This wasn't just about testing love anymore. This was a funeral. The house was still ringing with the echo of Sika's last words when the front door creaked open slowly. Mamiya entered quietly, wearing an old cloth wrapper and slippers. Her eyes were swollen with concern. She had heard the shouting from her end of the compound. Ajuman, she said softly. What is happening? I heard a noise outside. Her eyes scanned the room and landed on Sika, who was adjusting her braids in front of a mirror near the hallway. My daughter, she continued gently. What's going on? What did my son do this time? Sika dropped her hand and turned slowly, with her blank face. Madam, she said sharply, I am not your daughter. The room froze. Even Ajiman's breath paused. Sika walked forward, heels clicking hard on the tiles. I only did your useless son a favor by marrying him. He was below my level then. And now, he's not even on any level. He's just dust. Mamiya's lips trembled. Hey, Sika, is it a dream? Ajiman turned his face away. I raised my son well, Mamiya said, with her breaking voice. He may be down now, but he gave you everything. He loved you deeply. Why would you say such things? Sika folded her arms. Tired, madam. Your son sits at home like a lazy tree stump while I go out every day working like a donkey. And now he's pretending to be a victim in front of you. What victim? He's a criminal. If the government knew what they were doing, he'd be behind bars. Mameya, shocked and surprised, shouted, Sika, are you the same girl I had the day you came to this house? The same one who told me, don't worry, mama, I will make Ajiman happy? Sika rolled her eyes. People say sweet things when the ride is sweet, mama. But now the fuel is gone. The car is spoiled and the driver is jobless. Mameya stepped forward with her voice pleading, please, my daughter, sometimes in life, these things Batika cut her off sharply. Mother, use those inspiring words to encourage your son to get a job, she snapped. Because me, I won't be going out suffer and sweat in the sun, only to come home and feed a grown man twice. First in the kitchen and then again in the bedroom. It is a no. It won't happen. She looked directly at Ajiman. He should choose one. Food or bed sex. But he can't have both. Ajiman lowered his head. A slow tear dropped onto his shirt. Mameya clutched her chest and sat down. Sika, I prayed for you like my own daughter. I defended you when people said you were too quiet, too calm. I said no, my Sika is a blessing from God. But now I see the quietness was not peace. It was poison wrapped in perfume. Sika picked up her handbag. Believe what you want, Abrewa. But I'm not here to babysit anybody's spoiled son. If you people can't stand the truth, then go cry together. I have a business to run. I'm out. She walked past them, slamming the door behind her. Mameya sat frozen. Ajiman couldn't move. The silence that followed was heavier than death. That night, Ajiman lay beside the woman he once called his heart. Her back was turned, her breathing cold and steady. His thoughts refused to sleep. His mother's words echoed in his head. Test her before it's too late, my son. He sighed deeply and turned to face the ceiling. A marriage that once felt like heaven now tasted like gravel in his mouth. The following weekend would change everything. Mameya had come over to prepare some light soup, wanting to lift her son's spirit. She had just set the pot on fire when she heard the front door unlock. There were footsteps. Not one, not two. She paused. From the hallway came soft giggles, followed by a masculine voice. Then, Ajiman is still asleep, right? Don't worry. I miss you too. Mameya froze by the kitchen doorway. Her eyes widened. She tiptoed closer. There stood Sika in the arms of another man. Right there in their living room. Their living room. The place Ajiman had knelt and put a ring on her finger. The man was tall, muscular and shameless. His shirt was halfway unbuttoned, and he had his hand resting comfortably on Sika's waist. Mamiya gasped, covering her mouth and stepped backwards. Too late. Sika had seen her, and instead of panicking, she smiled. "Good morning, Mama," she said casually, pulling the man to sit beside her. "I guess it's time you met the real man of my life." Mamiya's news weekend. Jesus Christ of Nazareth, am I dreaming? In my own son's house? At that moment, Ajiman appeared at the doorway, rubbing his eyes. "Ma, what's going on?" His voice was groggy. His eyes found him, and for a moment, time broke. His breath vanished. His heartbeat slowed. He blinked hard, trying to erase the picture. But it was real. His wife, sitting comfortably beside a man, laughing, smiling, unashamed. Ajiman Sika began crossing her legs. "There's no point hiding anything anymore. You brought me into this house with your criminal money, thinking you could buy me." He staggered back. "Criminal money?" "Yes," Sika said. "My boyfriend was in my life long before you came in waving your fat account and fake promises. You just got lucky. But luck doesn't last, my dear." The boyfriend stood up, stretching like he owned the place. "Ajiman," he said coldly, "you've been living in a dream." But the alarm just rang. Then came the final blow. He pointed to the boy playing with the toy cars in the corner. "That child you call your son? He is mine." The earth stopped spinning for Ajiman. He turned to look at the little boy, his son, his blood, his pride. And now suddenly a stranger. "No, no, no," he cried out, falling on his knees. "Sika, please, not this. Don't say that." Sika picked up the child and walked over to her lover. "I only stayed for comfort, but I belong here with him." She turned to Mamiya, who was now leaning against the wall, tears soaking her scarf. "And Mama, you should stop praying for this one," she added heartlessly, nodding towards Ajiman. "He doesn't need God. He needs a job and a grip on reality." Ajiman covered his ears. Stop it." But the boyfriend stepped forward and smirked. "I'm taking my woman and my son. You can keep your frozen accounts and your shame." Mamiya screamed. Ajiman, my son, wake up. Wake up. This is not life. This is not marriage. This is a Nigerian movie. God, what did you do to deserve this?" Tears ran down Ajiman's cheeks as he watched the three of them walk out. His wife, his son, his life, all gone, and he never even raised a hand. He just knelt there, trembling and broken, like a carved statue left in the rain. Just as Sika, her secret boyfriend, and the little boy stepped out of Ajiman's house, bags packed, pride in her walk, no single trace of shame, someone was standing across the street. It was Anane, Ajiman's best friend, the same friend who had helped him stage the fake government scandal as part of the loyalty test. Kekeli's heart froze. At the sight before him, he blinked twice, hoping he was seeing wrong, but no. There was Sika, confidently walking in the arm of the man she once swore she didn't know. The little boy trotted beside them, clutching a teddy bear Ajuman had bought for him on his 4th birthday. Anani rushed towards them. Tika, what is this? What are you doing? Sika didn't flinch. What does it look like, Anani? I'm leaving. I want a real man now. And my son is finally going to be with his father. You never deserved Ajuman, Anani said bitterly. She said, Ajuman never deserved me. Anani stood there, fist clenched, breast shaking. He stormed into the house, unable to hold it in. Ajuman, I just saw her. Sika, she was with a man and a boy. My thoughts were right after all. She never loved you. She just used you. But the room was quiet. Ajuman sat in the living room with his head down, hands clasped like a broken man in silent prayer. Hamiya was beside him, frozen, her eyes misty as if all the pain of a mother had weighed on her heart. No one said a word. The weight of truth hung in the air like smoke after fire. Ajuman wasn't surprised anymore. He wasn't angry. He wasn't even bitter. He was just empty. I loved her, Ajuman finally said, with a cracked voice and low. Even when I had nothing, even when the whole world warned me, I believed in her. Maame Kuneju wiped her eyes. She believed because you were pure, my son. But not everyone who smiles at you has a pure heart. Anani looked away. I wish I had done more. No, Ajuman said softly, standing up. You did enough. You helped me see the truth, and I needed to see it. Ajuman stood alone by the beach, the wind brushing against his face, like memories he could never catch. Behind him, Mamiya stood at a distance, watching her son with a heavy voice. Mamiya stood a few steps behind her son, watching him with a heavy heart. You'll be fine, my son, she said softly, as if the wind could carry her words into his heart. Ajuman turned and nodded slowly. I will, Mama. One day at a time, she walked closer and touched his shoulder gently. Don't let this pain change the good heart you have. Not all women are like Sika. One day, a good woman will love you the right way. He looked far into the sky. I just pray the boy grows up well, he said. Even if he's not my blood, I truly loved him. Mamiya gently rested her head on his shoulder, and they both stood there, quiet as the sun slowly went down. The lesson here is, real love shows in hard times, not when everything is good. And sometimes, the people who hurt you the most are the same ones you once loved and trusted. Thank you for watching. Follow Derba Tales on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for updates and more amazing stories. See you next time.